He doesn't have a chance. So of course, the Lakers wouldn't just sit around and do nothing. They would quickly get him some help in the 2020 season, trading those young players for the veteran Anthony Davis, a future Hall of Famer who might be the best fitting star with Luka so far, as the two would dominate the league with LD averaging 28 points and 10 assists, as well as AD averaging 25 with 13 boards, cementing themselves as the best duo in the league, with a finals appearance basically guaranteed.
NBA will resume the season at Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Life as they know it is about, well, let's just say it's going to be a little different.
Which means that in order for Luka and AD to bring home the title, they would have to venture out into unfamiliar territory. Under, without a doubt, the weirdest circumstances possible, as Luka's going for championship number 4 in the NBA bubble. And of course, we all know that LeBron was able to win the championship here, so there's a bunch of pressure on Luka to do the same, depending on if he can take down the Philadelphia 76ers led by the dominant Joel Embiid and a prime Ben Simmons. But when you tell the story of Luka and LeBron, you of course have to talk about their teammates, one of which being Anthony Davis, who would be the key piece to the puzzle in this finals, as he would put up a fight with Embiid on both ends. And when you combine it with a million step backs from Luka, it would be no surprise to see LA take the first 2 games of the series. While Embiid would bounce back in Game 3, as you would expect, this one would be over shortly after, as the Luka-led Lakers would be just as dominant as their real-life counterpart, winning Luka his 4th championship. And while yes, this title will be highly criticized by a good portion of NBA fans, at the end of the day it counts. Luka's winning his 4th championship to tie him up with LeBron, with a chance to win even more. And he only has half a decade left, so if he's going to do it, he has to do it soon. So now entering the 2021 season, Luka and AD would look to go back-to-back. And with the Lakers keeping most of their championship supporting cast, as well as both their stars being as good as ever, we would unsurprisingly see the two reach the finals for a 2nd straight time, where they would surprisingly face the New York Knicks, who are led by Julius Randle, as well as an old but still very good Derrick Rose. But while these finals between the 2 largest media markets would be a money-printing machine, the team that would actually handle business on the court would be the Lakers, with both Luka and AD dominating both home and away to quickly complete the sweep and repeat as champions. And as far as our competition goes, with 5 championships compared to LeBron's 4, it means that Luka Doncic has completed the first part of the challenge, as his quest for basketball greatness isn't ending here, as now he has his sights set on Michael Jordan's 6 titles. And if somehow he can surpass that number, it'll cement him as the greatest of all time. But if you thought it was going to stay this easy and that he would stay on this crazy pace, you're completely mistaken, as the 2022 season would be Luka's 19th, now at the age of 37. And while his longevity is LeBron-esque and he's still among the top players in the league, there's a new crop of stars ready to take the throne once he's done, as well as 2 former rivals who are a few years younger and still going extremely strong. Which means that in the end, Luka's bid for a 3-peat is far from guaranteed and would be ending pretty quickly and unceremoniously, as he would eventually fall short to a young and ambitious Memphis Grizzlies team led by Ja Morant, who would eventually lead his squad to the NBA championship. And while Luka's personal title window isn't fully closed just yet, he only has 2 more seasons left before his NBA journey eventually comes to its end. But while Luka's in the twilight of his career, it doesn't mean that he would have a shortage of iconic moments, as the 2023 season would see him stand alone as the greatest scorer of all time.
It's a shot in history.
And a few months later, an appearance in the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors, which of course means that both he and Steph Curry will battle it out one last time. And with the two having a combined 9 titles in total, it would be no surprise to see their final battle result in a shootout between the 2 iconic faces of the last decade. But while Steph historically has had the upper hand over Luka, for their final matchup, it seems like the tides have finally turned the other way, with Luka being the one in control despite Steph's usual dominance, eventually sending Steph home in 6 games for the first time to book his ticket to Boston for his 11th NBA Finals. And with the momentum from eliminating his toughest opponent by his side, as well as his Hall of Fame sidekick, veteran Luka would defeat the young Boston Celtics to win his 6th title, to tie him up with Michael Jordan with only 1 more season remaining. So let's not waste any more time. You've You've waited long enough. The final chapter of Luka's legendary career is all starting off with the 39-year-old putting up a historic stat line of 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists per game, with a bunch going to AD, who's still in the prime of his career. And with such a dominant duo, it would be no surprise to see Luka in the finals for a 12th time, now staring down Damian Lillard as well as Giannis, who are, of course, leading the Milwaukee Bucks and are standing in the way of Luka's 7th title. But before we see how his career ends, we have to remember where it started, as he's gone from a heartbreaking Game 7 loss with Cleveland to his trip in Miami where he lost to Kobe but responded with a three-peat. Then his return to Cleveland where he struggled against the Warriors dynasty, just for him to rebound in a huge way, winning 3 titles with LA, including one in the bubble. Without a doubt, Luka's had a wild but successful trip in LeBron's shoes, and wherever you stand on his career, there's no denying that he's one of the greatest of all time. But now in the 2024 finals, on the brink of age 40, with over half of his life spent in the NBA, he would seal the deal, taking not 1, not 2, not 3, but also 4 games to complete his championship run, giving him 7 titles to Jordan's 6. And when you combine it with all of his other accolades, there's no doubt that in LeBron's shoes, Luka Doncic is standing alone as the greatest of all time. But what if we took another young phenom like Victor Wenbeyama and also gave him the career of another NBA legend, such as Shaquille O'Neal? Could the most hyped up rookie of all time surpass the career we just saw from Luka? To find out the answer to that question, click the video on the screen.